Podcast.
Hey, what up, family? This is Joe, No Picks Podcast. We are going live today, showing some love.
Right. So yeah, we want to just knock this out. It's easier to do this based off our hectic schedules, right? So we don't got to do no editing and shit like that. So thanks for joining us for the whoever's in here watching us. But we just gonna get right to it, right? So Joe, I found a couple clips on TikTok that I wanted us to react to. Felt like they were interesting. Would I'm dying for your opinion on what these clips have to say. All right.
All right, let's go.
All right. Start with the first one. All right, let's see.
Black people are always whining. And the reason I use the word whining is because it's not true. It's not a true complaint. You're always whining about racism, but you portray the most racism both to yourself and to others. Who can stop Black people from saying some of the most abhorrent, mean-spirited, racist things about other races? Oh, them Chinese folks is dirty, and they all eat cats and dogs. Indian folks is dirty. That food, them folks don't wash their hands. White folks all smell like cats and dogs, and they got lice. Who can beat y'all saying stuff like that? But if you heard, and you can say that on public platforms with impunity. Yeah. But if a white person even breathes, even thought of saying something like that about you, you would call the NAACP. You would try to get that person fired from their job. You do it every week. Every week, y'all trying to dox some business owner, some white business owner that's owned like a barbecue shop or something, or a little store somewhere. He said that he doesn't support Black Lives Matter. Everybody attack him. Do not shop at his establishment. Whoa!
All right. So I saw this clip and I thought it was interesting. I wanted us to react to it. What's your thoughts on what she said? I felt like she got, she, at the end she kind of went off on a little tangent or whatever. But what's your thoughts on what she said?
So the gist of what she was saying is that Black folk are able to go on any kind of platform and spit out bigotry or things that could be considered racist with impunity. Pretty much we can say things, but if someone else says it, we cry and we are all of a sudden we turn into the victim, and then it's like you're not allowed to say that. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I guess I can't say I can't say I disagree. I do know that we feel so comfortable making jokes about other people's. Listen, bro, we got Chinese stores in the hoods. We got poppy stores in the hoods. I've heard the way our folk talk about them or to them. And granted, we can have good relations, of course, but I've also heard some of the bigotry. Some of the, speak English or ching chong makahaya. So like, I think this revisits that conversation where it's like, can Black people be racist? Remember we had that conversation a while ago?
We did.
And, it's kind of touching on that, right? And so I'm going to keep it short for first, right, initially, right? And say, to an extent, I agree with her. I do agree that we can say things, but we can dish it, but we can't take it.
Yeah, facts.
I'll keep it at that. All right. Well, so how do you feel?
That's 100% fact, bro. Like we can dish it, but we can't take it.
Right.
That sums up my point perfectly, bro. Yo, I'm from Germantown. I'm from Philly. I'm from the hood, bro. Listen, I've been to 1,000, not 1,000, but I've been to 8 Chinese stores. And you know what I mean? When you go into a random Chinese store in the hood, it's Black dudes in there being like chong chong chong, like being super racist, bro. Like being super racist, like out next level racist, where it's like I gotta make sure like they know that I'm not with them niggas. You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, when the dudes leave, I'll be like, I'm not with them. Like I'm with the other people. So if you spitting anybody's food, don't spit in my stuff. Like I want
spit in my food.
But bro, they be good. That like, listen, you and I talked about this before. Black people, we only recognize racism when it's done to us. We don't recognize racism when it's done to someone else.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. So what she's saying is 100% facts. Like it's just what it is. I don't know why. Like I don't know why our minds are just like wired that way, but it's just true. Like we don't recognize racism unless it's a someone doing it to us, whether it's white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. But if we do it to them, we don't really see it as racism.
Yeah, that's real. No, that's real. And it's interesting because so there are some people who there are some black folk, right, and we're who aren't unable to see racism towards other people, right? But then there are also some people who see it, some black folk who see it and just don't care because they're like, well, we got our own problems. So because we got our own issues and nobody fight for us, why should we care about them? You know what I mean? So there's that kind of that too. Like, whatever, y'all got to deal with it because we had to deal with our racism and our struggles, all that stuff too. But no, yeah, bro, this is one of those controversial topics that some of us don't like to talk about, but it's the truth. Where it's like we can dish it out, but we can't take it, bro. We can say people are crackers, or what I mean, or Indian people dirty. They street food is nasty. They funky, right. Or we can we can say all this probably racist, stereotype, typical stuff. But when it comes to us, no, you can't say that. So yeah, nah, that's. Yeah, now shorty like she was one of them deep down south MAGA type black shorties. Is that who that was? The chick from the clip?
I don't know much about the chick, so I
don't know about her. But she's one of them conservative ones. Yeah. But I mean, there's some truth in what she's saying, bro. I don't, there's some truth that I can say.
Right, so I'm gonna move on to the next clip. All right.
All right.
On this one, obviously.
Older adults are the fastest growing demographic of people experiencing homelessness in the United States. This is due in part to the aging of the baby boomer generation. What's happening here? Economic shock, aging population. They want affordable housing and shit. I told you guys, this is going to be a problem financially. It's going to be a problem economically, socially. Because what do we do with all these old people? And that's people 50, 55 and up. People like this woman. Older Americans, homelessness by the numbers, just jumping up right there. And look, it's mostly women, man. It's mostly women. I'm going to tell you that. It's mostly women, and it's mostly African-American women, unfortunately, sadly enough. I want to break down the numbers. They are the highest demographic of people that face foreclosures and evictions, black women. So your aunts, your sisters, and your nephews, and your nieces and all of that, that's a fact. Older adults, the fastest growing age group of those experiencing homelessness. I'm on point. Seniors are the fastest growing unhoused population. Baby boomers in America becoming homeless at a rate of what?
Damn.
What's your thoughts, bro? What's your thoughts on man?
Well, first and foremost, I'll state explicitly and unequivocally that, to see this demographic, this particular demographic deal with the homelessness problem, to see that rate increasing with this demographic, it sucks, right? It pains me. I don't relish in the fact that this is happening. So I want to say that first, this is unfortunate. This is something that shouldn't be happening, but it is happening, right? So I want to acknowledge that first. It sucks. It sucks. But I don't know, bro. It's all signs were leading towards this. Think about it. If we're talking about just with our people, right, with the black community, we've been saying for a while, we don't know. We don't want to build generational wealth. We don't know how. We don't want to. We are too caught up in materialism, consumerism, buying things, but not owning things. We're not trying to create generational wealth. We're not buying property. We're not doing things like that. So when you have generation after generation not investing in generational wealth, what happens? Eventually you get old, and eventually you ain't got a retirement. Eventually you ain't got a house to live in. Eventually you ain't got nothing to pass on to your next of kin. So what happens, bro? Eventually you're going to have a group of people who have nothing. These are the old people who are still 75, still serving coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. No shade. Listen, if you gotta have a job and you gotta work, I'm not judging you for it. You know what I mean? There could have been some different decisions made, but the point is, there are people who are older and working into older in their life. You know what I mean? They don't qualify for Social Security. Most people won't even get Social Security, honestly, because we die before we reach that age. Let's just be real. People don't even make it to Social Security. So. No, it for me, it makes sense, right? As to why in particular it's women or black women, that could be a myriad of reasons, but that's my first thought, right? Because I want to hear what you feel about this before we unpack this a little bit. But that's my initial thought, that all signs were leading to this. Yeah. No one should be surprised. People weren't creating generational wealth. People weren't making these decisions. People were living day to day, not investing in the future. And here we are. This is what happens. So. What do you think about this? And shout out to Coach Greg.
Yeah, Coach.
I love Coach Greg.
This is what you get when you go 20 years about decentering men. That's been a wave,
Ty
right?
took it
Like,
there. Ty took it there. Go ahead.
when
Cook.
you decenter men, like you decenter half of the population, right? So it's like, if you got two people that's making 50, man and woman making 50 together, we link up, we making 100 together. But if you have the attitude that, like, I need a man that's making more than me, so I'm not dealing with a dude that's making 50. If I'm dealing with a dude that's making 50, I'd rather just be by myself. Then you end up homeless when you're 50 because you got to keep working until you die.
Right. Right. No, that's real.
I thought of. The second thing I thought of was, bro, like, so listen, I got a personal story, like a super personal story that I wasn't even able to talk to you about, right? So basically this past week, like, so I have a family home, right? The family home that I grew up in has been basically like uninhabitable for like maybe the past, I don't know, maybe 8-9 years or whatever. But it was the family home that I grew up in. My grandma owned it. My aunts were there. They raised me or whatever. And my aunt ended up moving. She ended up moving to Ambler with my cousin, whatever. But the house has been, vacant for a long time. So my aunt's been trying to sell it because after my grandma died, she's been trying to sell it. And now, I don't know, when you die without a will, it goes, if you own a home, it goes to what your next kids. My grandma had 13 kids. So the kids were kind of like, my aunt was taking care of the crib, but one of my aunts was taking care of the crib. But once my grandma died, she needs everybody's signature to sign off on it in order to sell the house. So some of the people, were like, nah, we're not willing to sell it. We want to keep the crib and we want to keep the house in the family. But those people weren't contributing financially, so the house ended up, dilapidating. Bro, the roof was caving in. It was a lot, bro. Like, it's like, so everybody just left the house. But it's like, but my aunt couldn't sell it, so she's just like, I don't know what to do with this shit, right? Anyway, fast forward to a couple of days ago. My mom has been like, my mom didn't raise me, she's been like kind of shopping around, couch surfing, moving to place to place. From what I hear, she heard that the house was vacant. She breaks into the house, changes the locks. Basically, like, I live here now, and it is what it is. And obviously, she's an older black woman. My mom's 65 right now, so she's she's couch surfing. She's trying to figure it out. So she changed the doors or whatever. I think, when was it? I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. My aunt calls me like, yo, what's up? Like, your mom's in the house. I'm about to call the cops. Like, she's not letting me in. My mom changed the locks, like, kind of like barricaded the windows and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I leave work early, go down there, and I see my mom. The cops are already out there with my mom. I'm talking to my mom like, yo, what's up, mom? Like, what's up? She kind of looked spaced, like she looked out of it. I'm talking to my aunt, talking like whatever. Fast forward, the cops like, listen, you can't. Talking to my mom like, yeah, listen, you can't come back here. You gotta, if you do come back here, you're gonna get, you can get arrested for trespassing, blah blah blah. So the crazy thing is, my mom is kind of like, I deserve to be here, right? Because she doesn't have any other place to go,
right?
But I think about it now, and I'm like, yo, if we didn't have much of a relationship, growing up, but I'm like, yo, if you would have did what you needed to do for me when I was a kid, I would have taken those lengths. I would have, helped you out as far as like your living situation. But at this point in my life, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not willing. I'm only like, what I'm willing to do to help is very limited.
Yeah.
Because you were so selfish in my childhood. So I'm not willing to do certain things. I'm not willing to have my kids go without to help you out because you weren't willing to do that for me.
Yeah. And that's understandable, bro. Like, I can't fault you for feeling that way. And there's a trend now that I see too of like older people, like parents becoming older, and then they like neglected their responsibilities when their children were younger. Like either they were absent parents, absent father, toxic mother, kicked them out when they were young because they had issues, or didn't accept them because of their sexuality, all types of issues, right? And then these people become old. And then when you get old, like we said, these people who don't save up, don't have no pension, don't have no retirement, don't have no generational wealth. Right. And then what do? Oh, I need help. And the kids are just like, bro, you weren't there for me at all. Like I
all.
put myself through college. I worked
Yeah.
2 or 3 jobs. I had my best friend take care of my kid while I went to work. Like you know what I mean? I was calling Ubers. Like you were never there for me. And now that you need me because your health faded or you got hurt or something, because life happens, now you want to reach out and try to, and people, kids are just like, no, no. And you know, to an extent, I understand that, bro. Like, why would you want to give back to someone who and people are like, oh, that's you only get one mom and one dad. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, but like, they used to say blood is thicker than water, but now if the word family is used to, like, for me, family is whoever has been there for you, whoever supported you. You see, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not just about blood anymore, because you got blood who treat you worse than people that you've met and made relations, you know, people who aren't blood.
Yeah.
So that's real, Ty. That's real. And listen, I hope so. So your mom had to leave?
Yeah. Listen,
this was recent, right?
This is
like super recent.
This is like 3 days ago type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like no joke at all. Like, yeah, listen, at this point, I'm in the process of like going through PHA, whoever, like Philadelphia Housing Authority.
Yeah.
Try to help her, like, you know, get a place to live. Listen, I'm not willing to inconvenience, you know what I mean, myself or my kids or whatever to fucking, you know, put her up, you know what I mean? I'm like, I just don't. It's for me, we don't have the relationship to where I feel like that's something I'm willing to do. Now, if that's one of my aunts, that's a different conversation. If it's if my grandma was still alive, that's a different conversation, because I don't care about nothing.
Right.
Like, that would have happened. Like, like whatever it is. Like, sorry, kids, y'all gonna have to be, you know what I mean, inconvenienced, whatever. But
no, I get it.
But for her, I'm truly like, I'm going above and beyond, bro. Like, I really am. Like, I'm calling these, you know, these different, because it's like 20 different organizations that, you know, have potential housing available, and I'm like going on the website, I'm signing her up for stuff. I'm like, listen, I could be the point of contact if you need to reach her. If you can't reach her, you can talk to me. I'll talk to you directly. Like, I'm doing the things that I'm willing to do, but I'm not willing to put up no bread. So if it's me, if I have to put up some bread, you just gonna be living under a bridge. It's not happening with me. Like, and
it shouldn't be. And listen, bro, like we don't know the ins and outs, nor do we have to know for the internet. Like, you've already shared like enough, and this is pretty personal. But like so speaking to people like our age or people who are already older, like adults gotta understand, when you don't take care of your business and you just bullshit through your 30s, through your 40s, or you waste your 20s and then try to start grinding in your 30s, and then you struggle in your 30s. Like, when you just push everything away and then you're like in your 40s and your 50s and you still haven't got it figured out, and you realize you need your kids' help. Like, for me is selfish.
Right.
Like, it's something different if it's something beyond your control, if you got injured. But like, if you were just making stupid decisions, running the streets, blowing money on BS, gambling, you know, strippers, sex, whatever your vice was, right? And then by the time you get old age, to expect your children to take care of you, for me, it's so selfish, bro.
Yeah.
It's so, because at that point, like, you want kids to cut the umbilical cord. You know, I don't know people who read the gospel or the scripture, but like, you know what I mean? You pretty much got to break away from your family to build your own family, especially if you get married and start your own stuff. Like, you got to worry about that family. Right. You got to not sever that tie, but like, you got to take care of them. So it's just, I don't know, man. It frustrates me to see that there's this trend now where a lot of younger people are taking care of their parents who BS their 20s, their 30s, and their 40s. And it's like, now I got to take care of you. Now I got to put my life on pause. You know what I mean? Now I got to go into my pockets to help you out because you squandered all your opportunities and you wasted your youth. And now I got to help that. And I'm not talking about people who had like, you know what I mean though, bro? There are people who you just know BS and just made stupid decisions, and now their kids got to pay for it. And I'm like, bro, that's not cool. That's not cool for me.
I want to do it.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Well, I mean, all right. So to tie it up for the coach, Adam John, like, people have been talking about this, right? When the eviction started happening around, like after COVID, who was the highest rate of women getting evicted?
Black women. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was our women, right? It was for when people were getting laid off from retail, laid off from like the customer service jobs, the call centers. What demographic got hit the hardest? Women. Black women. They were getting hit the hardest when all this was happening. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, with the low marriage rates, when COVID came and everything was in quarantine, who were the women who were out there fending for themselves, going to the markets by themselves? Probably some of them scared to be out there with all this chaos, not knowing what was going to happen. Unprotected. It was our women. Yeah. Once again, it's just like, this is what some of them wanted. You didn't want that protection. You didn't want that covering. You didn't want that, you know what I mean? This is what y'all wanted. Not everybody, generally speaking.
Right.
So I don't know, bro. I really hope this changes, but I'm not surprised. Let's just say that I'm not.
All right. So this next clip I wanted to show you kind of blew my mind. And I'm wondering if this is gonna blow yours, right? So I'm gonna play it, and I'm really dying for your reaction to it.
Men tend to sacrifice their happiness for their family, while women tend to sacrifice their family for their happiness.
Facts.
A lot of women,
Facts.
grass is greener on the other side, only to get out there and see that it's not. Just like Tia
Mowry.
Yeah.
Men tend to sacrifice.
Facts.
So
Facts.
what you think? What you that's
Gospel. Facts. Facts.
bro?
We've touched on this so many times, and that's one of my favorite expressions. A man will sacrifice his happiness for his family. A woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness, right? And that is just a fact. Think about when you, go ahead, Ty, go ahead.
No, go. Finish.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. But I know you. What were you about to say? Because I'm with it.
The amount of times that I've heard a woman say, "I just wasn't happy."
Yeah,
Like,
I wasn't happy anymore. We lost the spark. We didn't have it. We didn't have the vibe anymore.
We weren't growing in the same way, or like there's a lot of euphemisms for I wasn't happy anymore. But like, bro,
right?
You never really hear men saying that shit. You never hear men saying I just wasn't happy no more. Like,
yeah,
because dudes are willing to listen. I've been one. Like, listen, dudes are willing to be completely unhappy in order to make sure that their kids and their family situation is cool, and we will just find other outlets. We'll drink, we'll go to the gym, we'll get buried in maybe sports betting or start or I don't know,
start a project in the house. You know what I mean? Like build a shed or
men are absolutely willing to sacrifice themselves for the good of the family. But like you hear this shit a lot, like, women are quick to be like, I just wasn't happy.
I'm not happy.
Or how many times have you heard a woman say, well, you know what, I left a good man.
Yeah.
Just because, there's a trend on TikTok right now being like, don't feel bad if you leave a good man. Like, don't feel like
I've seen that.
If you're not happy, then it is what it is. Then it's like, if men thought like that, society would just crumble. Because listen, when men get married, listen, Joe, I can't speak for you, right? But when men, okay, let me say this. All right, let me ask you a question. Could you be perfectly happy in a situation where you're not legally married, but you have a consistent girlfriend and y'all live the same life together?
Yeah.
The reason that men get married, and correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please don't just yes me or whatever, because we're doing a pod together. The reason that men get married is because we just don't want to we don't want to hear shit from our significant other. We're just like, okay, cool. Like, we'll just do it. Like, it's not a big, it's not something. Little boys don't grow up dreaming of the day we're being married. We don't give a shit about that. We want a partner though, but we don't the marriage shit and the white dress and all the accoutrement, all that goes with the shit. We don't really care about that. But we do want a partner and we want to raise a family. But the woman, but we get married because the woman is like, let's get married. So we get married. We're like, all right, cool, whatever. If you want to, then cool. But we'll go hard for it because you want it, right? Not because we want it, because we don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say, or am I tripping?
I think you can find more men now agreeing with that sentiment that, we don't really want to do it. We do it because we either get pushed into it. Well, honestly, as a man, you shouldn't do anything you don't want to do, right? But like, for the most part, it's usually the woman's like requiring it. Like, nah, you got to marry me. You know what I mean? We've been together for so long. Like, what's good? And we're just like, all right. Like,
a lot of times it's not even like overt. She's not like, listen, if you don't marry me, then X, Y, and Z. But you just get the vibe, right? You like she's making little comments. Her family's making little comments. Maybe her dad's making little comments, and you're like, this should just be easier if I just marry this woman.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but like, we don't particularly care. We're just doing it to just alleviate arguments.
Yeah. I can kind of see that, right? And I also know that for men, most men who are wealthy are married. Most men who are in the top percentage of earners are married. So there's definitely something to be said about being married, about creating that wealth and having some kind of business contract to pass that wealth on. Men who are married live longer. Men who are married, there's some benefits, bro. Like there are definitely some tax benefits as well. So there are benefits of that, but we're talking about marriage now, though, in the dating scene now, with the way relationships and women are now. And I think that conversation has been turned upside down. It's such a different conversation to have now, though. So now I feel like more men are agreeing with your sentiment, where it's like we don't really want to do this, but maybe sometimes we kind of feel coerced, or we feel like we're obligated. That's supposed to happen. But I get it. You know what I mean? I'm also not trying to play house with nobody for like 10 years, though. That's just me, though. I'm not trying to just be shacked up with somebody for 10 years.
Oh, so you want so you like, hey, like I want a wife. Like this is like
I just don't want to play house for 10 years, bro. For what?
I mean, but what's the difference? Like, so all right.
So, well, I mean, one of the biggest difference I could think of is if I die or if I'm on my deathbed, the person that I'm with, my girlfriend, I guess she would be my girlfriend, can't decide whether or not they pull the plug. That would fall on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that.
Like an aunt or a cousin or something.
Right. It wouldn't be on her though. But you'd think it would be on her, or any like certain things just wouldn't be passed on to her because we're not married. Especially if there's no will.
To your kids. So like,
probably my children, you know what I mean? Or so she wouldn't get any of those benefits. Basically, if there are a lot of things that she would miss out on if I die, especially if I died, abruptly, like, something random. So there's a safety net in being married for you and for her. You know what I mean? Plus, if she's not working and and I'm working, I can cover her with my health insurance. See what I'm saying? Like she ain't got to work to have health insurance because I'm working. I'm paying for you through my employee, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Like you can't do that if you ain't married. I can't cover my girlfriend on my health insurance. I can cover my wife.
We in an age where, I mean, we equals. Like women could do the same thing as men. So if you have health insurance, can she get her own health insurance? She can, but if she don't, I can cover her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying. Is like you need to be married to be able to do that. Like if she loses her job, and she's like, damn, man, she's looking for work, or maybe she don't want to work for a while. She has health insurance because I can cover her. But we have to, and vice versa, but we need to be married. You see what I'm saying? That's just a benefit because most health insurance now, unless you're poor and you get Medicaid or old and get Medicare, you got to work. But it
you have to work.
Her specifically. Like it doesn't, like, okay, let me put it this way. How does it benefit you?
What, being married?
Yeah. Like if I had a soundboard right now, it'd be like,
well, no, I mean, everything's. I mean,
you can't think of nothing, bro. You can think of how it benefits her, but you can't think of.
I'm trying to think of things that are specific because I definitely benefit from my relationship with my wife, but I'm trying to think of things that are specific to being married.
It was just your girl, and she was just like, "Listen,
right?
We could just be together and just go hard, you and I, Joe. Like you don't.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't get married, you would still be in the same position. That's my point.
You're right. She wouldn't. You're right. She's working now, so she would have health insurance. But initially, she wouldn't have had health insurance, which would have been rough. But
that's for her benefit. It's not for yours. You have health insurance. You're good.
Yeah, but what if we want to have a baby and she gets pregnant and she got to deliver that child? She ain't got health insurance. You know how expensive it is to have a baby?
Okay, but
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Eventually something catches up where it's like, all right, you're right. It's not, you ain't got health insurance and I got it, but you about to have this baby that we both helped create. And now you got to pay for it. You got to come out of pocket 40 racks.
Then what? Then you get like that.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not trying to be an asshole about it, but it's just
no. I hear you. There are benefits though of being married. Tax write-offs, like I said, you could determine if a person's plug gets pulled when they're on their deathbed or on life support. You can pass off generational wealth to that woman. You can give her health insurance. She has a rights to your pension. Like there are things you can pass off.
Give those benefits to my children though, because like how I look at it is like, okay, well, I mean, these women can do whatever they want to do. Your wife tomorrow could be like, listen, I'm not with you. Like she could see some hot Thundercat on Instagram tomorrow and be like, listen, I don't want to be with you anymore. I want to be with this hot Thundercat. And she can leave. Your kids are going to be with you no matter what. So like, I'm cool with passing whatever I have on to my blood, my lineage, because like she can take or leave me. She could hate me tomorrow. She could love me tomorrow. She could love me and hate me tomorrow.
That's true. Well, I mean, I guess this is a case by case thing too, right?
Right.
Like if you resent your spouse or if y'all beefing, maybe it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? But if
Right.
like Shorty wasn't perfect, but like really did right by me and like was trying, then I'd be like, all right, like like I feel like everything I do now as a husband is for my family.
Right.
Everything I do now, like not even for me, like everything, literally everything I do is for my kids and for my wife to make sure that they set up.
Right.
So
But let
for
me ask
me, you know what I mean? Like, so I guess it just depends, bro.
let me ask you, Joe. Are men the selfless sex versus women? Like who's more selfless out of the two?
I'd say men more. I'd say men. Like I said, men for the most part. And for anybody who comes and be like, well, what about this guy? We're not talking about pookies. We're not talking. See, every time we have these conversations, then we shift the
Right.
focus to like men who actually ain't shit, which is a small demographic of men. It's
Right.
frustrating, right? Because we want to talk about just men. Like men are capable of amazing things. Men do
Right.
great things. Men are great fathers. Men are great workers. Men are competent. Men are ambitious. There are men who are out there doing that. We out here getting it. So we're talking about those men. So for those men, we are selfless because everything we do is for the people that we are here to protect and provide for. In my honest opinion. So I do think that we're selfless. And even on days where like maybe I'm not getting as much intimacy as I need, I'm not getting as much acknowledgement for what I'm doing.
Right.
Maybe I don't want to go to work because I hate my job. But guess what? Bills got to get paid. Food needs to be put in that fridge, and I'm gonna suck it all up. And I'm not gonna just be like, I'm unhappy. I'm gonna leave this because it's getting too expensive. I'm gonna stop doing my responsibilities because I'm unhappy. I don't know. I gotta suck it up and keep grinding and doing what I gotta do for my family. I don't get the privilege to be like, I quit.
Right.
I don't, because I also know that if I do that, then I'm breaking my family apart. And that's where we differ too, because women will break their families apart because they're unhappy. Oh, the romance ain't there no more. The magic has left. Yeah, but now we got kids that depend on us. And now we have a weekend parent. Now we got two different households. Now we got co-parenting. Now we broke up our whole family structure because you weren't happy.
Yeah.
I lost family that I inherited when we got married. You know what I'm saying? You lose it. Divorce, separation affects so many different aspects of your life. The in-laws that you inherit, everything. So, and women will throw all that ish away on a feeling, but men understand duty.
Yeah.
It's duty. I got to protect what I created. It's my bed. I got to lay in it. So,
all right. So I'm moving on to the next clip. All right.
Yeah.
So this one I want to preface this before I even play it. Right. So this one I want to say, like, we should start up another series, right, on the drone, right? Because I got the one series with the why would anybody want to be a cop? This one I want to say reasons to avoid prison. All right. So we'll play this clip and
better not be the booty warrior. That's a pretty big reason. Oh God, no.
Hear me hunching, and I can feel him. And then when he climax, that big old grunt noise that come out of his throat. Ooh, boy. Ooh. All that in the back of your neck. This man he done shot in you. And then hold you until you feel it slip out. And then kiss you on your jaws. Say, I love you, boy. I'm gonna go down to the store and bag you some groceries. Tell me what you need. All right?
That's his woman now.
Yeah, and then he's standing there, that stuff still in his booty. Like,
all right. Reasons to not go to prison. What's your thoughts, Joe?
Oh God, man. Yo. Lord, I pray to God I never end up in jail. Like I please keep me out of prison, bro. Like, please keep me out of prison, bro. Like I just don't know. He talks about it like he's still like he reminisces.
Yeah. He
you know what I mean? Like some people will tell you some horror stories. This man tells his stories like he misses the good old days. That's what's scary, bro. He be looking like he be in euphoria just thinking about that moment. And I'm like, bro, you a nasty, dirty, trifling ass. Like, nah. I mean, and this is how it gets down, bro. This is how it gets down, bro. Like, people get violated in prison. You got to imagine being in a jail cell, and I've seen like, you know, those YouTube videos where people come out of jail and they've been put like 10, 15, 20 years in, and they just make YouTube channels and talk about what it was like. So things like that. And they like, yeah, you be in your cell and you hear other men getting violated. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like the walls are paper thin. The cell block, sometimes it's not even that. You hear people getting violated, bro. You hear the underwear straps ripping apart. Like, you hear it, bro. Like, they talk about it vividly. And I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, just terrified. Listen, all y'all little gangsters out there, all you tough guys, you won't. Prison will eat you alive, bro. It's gonna eat you. Stay out of young men. Stay out of jail, bro. Please.
Yeah.
Woody scares me, bro.
Yo, he's terrifying.
He terrifies me, bro. Like, he terrifies me.
Like the way he talks about like how he admires getting butt and how he admires getting like. He be like it was just seeing you.
Like, I just feel dirty just listening to his stories. Like, oh God, bro, I need a shower, bro. Like, the fuck. Bro. Oh man, yeah, this is bad.
Yo, all right. So listen, I'm playing the next clip, right?
All right.
God damn.
And while we still here, shout out to everybody who's here. We miss y'all. Sorry we've been so busy. A lot of it has been on me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Ty's been busy too, but like, I'm super busy, y'all. And I'm just like, I still enjoy doing this. My schedule is just ridiculous right now, so it's been hard. But I'm glad we found some time tonight to like link up and do this thing, Ty. Like, I missed this. So yeah, let's see what the next clip is.
Let's do this shit.
Like, I'm just sitting right here thinking you could really be fucking with a nigga for a whole year and can't ask him for shit, can't ask him for $1,000. Now you can't ask him for no Chanel, can't ask him. What do you bitches be laying on your back for? Like, what are you having babies for? Niggas not buying you no card or like, I'm just sitting right here.
All right. So thoughts. What's your initial thoughts after
that burger look good as shit? That she's about to. I mean, I guess she got a point. If you're gonna be a hoe, you might as well be getting something out of it, right? Like, I can understand that logic. If you're gonna be for the streets, you better get something out of it. Otherwise, you're just getting your back blown out and getting nothing for it. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna dispute that because I don't think she don't think she's for the streets. She thinks she's like just a person talking to a dude, and the dude is supposed to do this stuff because, you know, like she's not. It's not in her situation. It's not a quid pro. She's not like, yo, I'm gonna do this and you give me money for this.
Yeah, she's
just expecting it. That's my beef with the whole hookup culture and the chicks, the city girl, because she's on some city girl shit, right? The whole city girl culture. She's on some like, listen, if you talk to a dude, you give him your number, he take you to fucking Arby's or something one day, then you should be able to fucking ask him for money to help pay your fucking mortgage. Like, no, chick, like that's not what we on.
Right.
So, but listen, I'm not against the whole quid pro quo shit. If we're gonna be on that, I'm gonna get something too. Now, me personally, I'm never gonna be on that because it's a slap in the face to me for you to even like imply that I'm gonna give you any money at all for anything.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna be on that, it's gonna be on the level. It's gonna be okay, cool. I'm gonna give you this money and you're gonna do this service for me, or we're gonna spend the night together. You're gonna do whatever I want you to do. It's not gonna be on some ambiguous like, well, we'll see. No, we're not seeing nothing. You're gonna give me this thing because I gave you money for it.
Yeah,
but that's not the type of time she on. She just on some like, oh well, if you talk to a dude, he should just give you $1,000. Like, bitch, I'm not giving you nothing. You got me fucked up.
Yeah. Well, did you see that clip? I don't know if it went viral recently or like maybe sometime last week, but there's a chick, and she's just like, oh my God, I just had this epiphany. Like, when men are in relationships, they save money. When women aren't in relationships, they spend more money. You know what I mean? She like had this light bulb moment where she basically realized men who are in relationships don't save money. They end up spending money. And when women are single, they can't save. They end up spending money. So basically, for men, it costs money to be in a relationship. So to be single means you ain't. So, but she's like saying like it's like this huge epiphany, and men are just like, duh. Like, we know this already. Like, when you got a woman, you got to spend bread. If you're single, you ain't got to spend that money. We can stack up and make moves. But women, on the other hand, when they're single, they got to spend money. They can't save money. They're spending money. And it's just like, we understand this concept, right? but men are expected to just dish out and to pay for things. Like women feel entitled. Not all women, generally speaking, women feel entitled to our bread and to what we have. So
Right.
this is a thing, bro. This is a thing now. Like it really, really is, man. It really is, and it's. Listen, we've talked about this before, Ty, but like, it's women are starting to feel it.
Right.
Like they're going to all these singles events, ain't no men around, or it's like 2 men for like 100 women. They can't find viable men anymore, or men that they deem viable. You know what I mean? Like men are just like, we're not doing this anymore. So men are focusing on their purpose and stacking up bread and improving themselves.
Right.
And women are feeling the heat now because men ain't out there. And listen, the tide is changing, bro. It really is. And men, keep grinding, keep stacking up, keep building up your value, please.
We see in other clip, like chicks is going homeless for this shit. Like
Yeah.
they're aging and going homeless because they're like,
Yeah.
yo, like, listen, y'all better settle for Todd at Wawa, bro. Like, cause y'all, listen, Todd might keep your ass from being homeless. Like, that might be the $30,000 a year you need to not be homeless and eating cat food.
And once again, if you don't have someone helping you, you're covering 100% of your expenses versus splitting them at least down the middle with somebody, which some people are just completely against now. You'd rather do it all by yourself instead of having someone help you to take some of that off of you. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard, bro. If a woman ever came into my, well, not hypothetically, like, and said, "That's all right, I'll take half of what you got off of your plate. Thank you." You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. I don't see that as an issue. So it's just a different mentality for some people, bro.
Next. All right, I'm gonna play the next clip.
No, men should always gift first. Why? And then after you've been gifting for a while. A year. I feel like once we get into a relationship, then you should get me gifts until forever. But I will get you a gift once we get into a relationship. I think that's the right time for a woman to get a man a gift. No, men should always gift.
There's more relationship stuff. So what's your thoughts?
She sound like another TikTok bop.
Yeah.
Is this all I hear is TikTok bop? This is one of them chicks who has 100 pictures of her with duck lips and suggestive positions. Like, you know what I mean? She's probably got like millions of followers, but she get paid off selling tummy teas and waist trainers, and it's giving TikTok bop, right? So there are women who feel this way, and I think that so what I can say for women like this now is that I hope that men, like, this is what, Ty, we've talked about this before. This is why the red pill community is so important, right?
Yeah.
People can hate about red pill as much as they want, but the red pill just shows the world for what it actually is.
Yeah.
It shows it for what it actually is and tells men, listen, this is the dating game. This is the world. This is the dynamics. You got to accept it. And all you can do is just level up and do better and improve yourself to the best as you can so that you can have your pick of the litter. Right. But this is a part of the dating world where it's like, man, you should be able to recognize these types of women and know flags all over this. Remember that video we saw with Stephen A where he was just like, yo, the best type of woman to marry or to be with, excuse me, is a 7. He was like, give me the 7. He said the 10s, the 9s, too high maintenance. They cost too much. They want too much money. They need this. They need that. But a solid 7 with a good character, that's the magic number. Remember we reacted to that, John? Stephen A. Smith said we gotta revisit that, John, because he broke it down so good.
But I feel like Stephen A. messed up where he talked about the 7 because what did our man Kevin Samuel say? Every chick say she is 7.
Every chick says she is 7.
That's why he like you can't use 7.
Yeah.
Either say 6 or 8.
Yeah. No,
but he's right. Like, bro, like come across a chick, she gonna say she is 7.
Yeah, you're right.
That's like not ugly, but it's not that super pretty. So it's like it's a safe number.
Right. No, it is. And men, once again, women like this will have you running your pockets. And for what? For some box that you can get anywhere else? Remember, women's box ain't special, bro. Everybody, they come standard packaging on every woman. They all got one. Like, I don't know why we elevate some than others, but it's just box, bro. Like like don't be coughing up hundreds of thousands of dollars over a box, bro. Like that is ridiculous.
All right, let me play another clip real quick. This kind of like further exemplifies the point that you just mentioned. Let me see.
If you're a 50-50 guy, don't check for the shorty that is looking to be taken care of.
I agree.
Go holler at the shorty that works at Home Depot. He's more likely want to go 50-50. No shade. But I'm just
Home
saying.
Depot though.
I'm just saying
No,
she's
I
willing
know.
to get it out the
Yeah.
mud. That's all I'm
Right,
you see what I'm saying?
right.
Certain jobs let you know, like me personally, I wouldn't mind doing 50-50 with a plan in place because I'm not paying any bills. I'm not doing, and I say, oh, my money is for me. If I have money, that means if my man is paying all the bills, that means I had more than enough free time to figure out how to invest my money, invest his money, and be saving on the back end and having and buying properties that let me use my mind because my mind is amazing. I'm like an octopus when it comes to knowledge. I'm grabbing it. I'm pulling everything together. I can literally create something from nothing. If you're a 50-50 guy.
All right. So, but listen, before you even get a stab at this, let me say this. I hate women who talk like this because they talk like, you know, like them managing the money on the back end somehow like helps the man, right? So let me say this. If your skills to multiply were so incredible, why can't you multiply your own fucking money? I never understand this logic because I'm like, oh, well, I'm a multiplier. Okay, multiply your own money then. Show me how you multiply your money. You could then I can copy your example. That's the first thing. That's not her. What she's saying is nonsense as far as like, oh, well, I'm not going 50-50. I need to go 50-50 with a plan. First of all, that 50-50 shit, you and I talked about it, Joe. There's a looks requirement. Like if you not a certain level of attractiveness, this 50-50 shit ain't for you. Like the women that can talk 50-50 are like the baddest bitches. You not one of them. This woman is absolutely average in every sense of the fucking word. I'm not saying she's an unattractive woman. Would I talk to her? Absolutely, I would.
Right.
But she is not. If the woman looking like this come to me talking about something, yo, I'm not going 50-50. I'm a higher caliber than that. I'll look in her face and I'll laugh in her fucking face. And I'll be like, you are not, you are 50-50.
Yeah. I agree. She's definitely, I give her a solid 6, especially if she dolls up and gives like some makeup. Like she cute, you know what I mean? Like I'd say she's a 6. Average for me is like 5. So I'd say she's a 6, right?
But you can find her.
Yes.
Every block you go,
she look like a girlfriend around the way, like
some rare.
Yeah. No, right.
Never see.
Absolutely. And I guess part of the reason I hate these conversations is because we hear about what it is that the women like this require, but what we don't hear is what we're getting out of it. Now, she did mention, oh, I can invest his money. No, can you cook? Can you take care of the house? Because remember, if I'm paying for everything, that means your ass is at home. So when I come home, is the house going to be clean? Is there going to be something for me to eat? Or the kids going to be, are you going to pick up the kids? Are they going to be home? Is the homework going to be done? You know what I'm saying? Like, is the laundry going to be done? Like, what am I getting for this? And that's what's always missing from this conversation. It's like, I'm not worried about you flipping my money and investing. Go take care of my damn home. That is your job now. That's your job. You see what I'm saying? So now I got to pay for all the bills and then hire a nanny too? Are you serious? You see what I'm saying, bro? So I think that's what's frustrating about these conversations, that I feel like you get half of that perspective. And my whole thing is like, what am I getting out of this? All I want to hear is I'm going to stay at my ass at home.
Right.
I'm going to keep his stomach full and his balls empty. And the house going to be immaculate. And it's going, you know what I mean? Like that for me is like, yo, okay, you got it.
Yo, them nanny chicks, the chicks that hey, I got a nanny. It's like 1 out of 100. It's not
right.
Most of y'all not getting no fucking nanny. Most of y'all are changing the diapers, changing the trash bags. Like y'all doing all that shit. Like y'all don't have y'all not nanny material.
Yeah.
The reason that those chicks are nanny material is because they look a certain way. They are the baddest of the baddest. Like they are the cream of the crop. So the guys on Wall Street making $500,000 a year will wife them up and be like, okay, cool, honey, you can stay home and not have any kids and get a nanny.
Right.
Most of y'all not getting that.
Right.
Not just most, like 96% of y'all not getting that.
It's just ridiculous, bro. And you gotta. We know this, right? But like the economy hasn't improved yet. Like the stock market damn near crashed in the past couple weeks. Unemployment is still dumb high. Inflation is still high. It still costs $10 to buy a carton of eggs. Like, it's a rough economy right now. Interest rates to buy a home are still like averages like what, like 7, maybe a little under 7. Like, still dumb high. Because remember, in 2020, there was like 3, 2.5. You could find a 2.5%, 3% interest rate for a home. Now you'd be lucky if you find something around 6. So the cost of living is so much high. So to find a man who can take care of everything is becoming harder and harder as the years progress, especially as our cost of living goes up and our wages stay stagnant. So it's becoming more of a unicorn, more of like not a fairy tale because these men are out there, but like that number of men is shrinking. And to really find that, it's like, bro, what is he getting for that?
He's not getting much.
What is he going to get for that? You asked me about the marriage question. Like, what are you getting at? Like, I would ask for a man who's doing all of that. What is he getting?
I bet you if you ask her what she brings to the table, she'll say, I am the table. I guarantee you she'll say that. She'll say, I am the table. Bro, there's a small handful of motherfucking women that can get this shit. And I'm not interested in those women because I don't want to do that shit. So it's just I'm not built like that, bro. Like,
and it's a young woman's game. I'll say that too. I'll say it's a young woman's game because you be in your early 40s or late 30s trying to find that provider. You done wasted your youth.
Yeah.
For me, that's a young woman's game. Like you did something wrong if you're in your late 30s or early 40s still looking for that provider.
I want 39-year-old titties when I can get some 24-year-old titties.
It's just for me, it's just a fact.
Same thing. Which is why you and I laughed about the whole Vivica A. Fox thing. She like, I want a man that's going, a rich man that's going to take me shopping. And
she's so nutty,
like,
bro.
Okay, why the fuck if that guy exists? Why the fuck does he want Vivica A. Fox now when he can get Vivica A. Fox in Ohio from Ohio? That a chick that looks exactly like Vivica A. in Ohio that's 24 right now. Why would you want 60-year-old? Because y'all want the same thing. Y'all want the same traveling. Y'all want the same fucking yachts. Y'all want the same private jets. Y'all want the same. You mean like why would he give it to you when he give it the 24-year-old version and she can suck him off 7 times a day? And your ass got to go to sleep after the first one.
This one I miss Kevin Samuels. Shut up, Vivica Fox. Like, she's got a BBL.
I heard she got a BBL.
That thing was nasty. It looks bad, bro. It looks so bad. But anyway, I just want to add that. Like this whole finding a provider, that's a young woman's game. If you wait until your late 30s, early 40s, you done lost the race. You know what I mean? It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. Like you got to start that in your 20s.
And if you look at the statistics, bro, like the more chicks that be like, oh, I'm not dealing with no dude that's not a provider, that's not paying all my bills, the more likely your ass probably gonna end up homeless.
We talked about that.
Oh, your role selling that box.
And we talked about, and bro, I'm seeing more women in the streets now homeless. Before it used to be mostly men. I'm seeing more women now homeless. I'm like, oh. Listen, okay, this is a change. Like I'm starting to see more shorties out there.
My mom homeless right now because she wouldn't settle. She wasn't settle for no Dusty. She need a 6-figure. All right, cool. Y'all can knock yourselves out, bro. Like, but this ain't it, man. Yeah. Anyway, so that was the last show I had. We can wrap this up.
All right, bro. Well, listen. Thanks for the clips. I'm glad we was able to go live. Let me know, Ty, if you got any time, either Monday or Tuesday, to make a couple more clips and put them out. So we got something for like the next couple weeks, if not next week at least. But I'm down. There's always lots to talk about. If anybody in the community has any ideas or things that they want us to touch on or hear us give an opinion on, let us know too. Right. But there's a lot going on now. We haven't done politics. We're not as much politics because there's just, every week is something. Yeah, like it's so much in the political world that I'm like, bro, it's exhausting to just follow what happens.
I feel like we gotta dedicate a live to like all the political shit because there's a lot of cat that like I gotta address. There's a lot of cat, but like
that's fine. I'm sure there's a lot of misinformation. There's always misinformation. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just good to talk about it too. But this was nice. I miss this. I definitely do. And I just it'll be more consistent as I get more time, which will be. Relatively soon. So this was nice.
All right. Let us know what y'all think, family. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, y'all.